Marcelo, I'm with CI&T. I'm here today to talk a little bit about some factors and lessons learned about scaling digital teams, propelling digital leaders, and how to make them successful in this, digital world that we're living in. Okay, that's the main goal today. Some facts that I think are important to mention. Nearshore is doing well, thank you. We all know that, right? Latin America specifically has, maybe someone here can help me, but I read something that Latin America in general, including, around 800,000 graduates per year. Does that number sound okay? Kind of good? Yeah, it's a little bit less than 1 million graduates per year on the tech industry. That's impressive, right? It's a huge, high quality pool of talent. Time zone is perfect, attractive cost. On the other hand, talent war is raging. We all been talking about it today. Local markets, most of the countries providing nearshore services are booming because of the internal dynamics, but also, mature markets like the US, countries in Europe, they're looking at those countries for talent. We are facing that type of situation nowadays, right? Digital maturity is increasing quite fast with our clients. So more and more budget is being allocated to digital initiatives. We know that. That's a fact, right? And by the way, why is that? Because digital initiatives, most of the time, they are related to customer experience initiatives. Think about the Ubers of the world, right? The way you engage with apps in order to make your life easier. That kind of customer experience initiative that's taking place everywhere now, right? And by the way, we do believe that nearshore is the perfect model for this high touch, for this fine-tuned customer experience type of engagement, right? Because, you have to have very direct contact with business units from companies. You have to have very direct contact with the digital practitioners from companies as well. So it's super high touch, it's fine-tuned. You have to have those type of interactions that when compared to, a really offshore presence, like 10 time zones away, it becomes way more complicated, right? So we do believe that nearshore is the model for this type of CX type of work. And when I say CX, I mean it's the overall B2C, B2B, that type of engagements nowadays. Okay. Another set of facts are related to the way we can. Of course, there are different models that I could have came up here, but I decided to simplify when thinking about in terms of digital maturity and impact. What are the different types of staffing models, the engagement models that we see nowadays from providers and companies using those type of services, right? So we see all the way from some kind of a staff augmentation to hybrid product teams, right? When I say hybrid, it's because we see, for example, most of the mature companies nowadays that are really, really mature in terms of digital, they want to have product teams from providers, but also they want to have their internal, like in-source strategy in order to capitalize in terms of their IP, intellectual property, right? And intellectual capital. So hybrid model is something that we are seeing more and more where providers, teams are working together hand in hand with clients, teams as well. Okay, so let's talk about how to become a digital leader nowadays, how to engage with those teams, right? How to achieve agility. In the end, it's all about achieving agility. How to deeply connect with ever advanced business and digital needs. And most important of all, at scale, right? And when I say at scale, I mean, how can you scale operations that are like hundreds and hundreds of people, dozens and maybe even hundreds of product teams working together in a very comprehensive backlog of a new digital experience platform or solution or need, right? So at scale, I think that's the key. I selected 3 of the main facts or learnings or ideas or thoughts that help propel that scalability when it comes to deploying digital initiatives nowadays, right? The number one, I think it's extremely important, is how can you help customers transition from a traditional project mindset to a more product mindset. Most of times at scale, having this project mindset represents some challenge, like the number of silos increase. Typically you have multiple streams working on the same initiative. Sometimes people are just sliced into different initiatives and they don't, scale from a efficiency perspective, right? There are competing priorities most of the time along those different projects going on. They have a finite type of duration, right? So that may create challenge. And I think the most important of all is in this digital world and this product mindset, it's really hard to have an ideate, build, and run working, as a single unified value stream, because typically there are silos involved, right? So that creates some inefficiencies. Second one, we have a problem here. Every time we try to scale a digital operation, it's clear that the efficiency reduces, and reduces a lot, right? Because many teams, many value streams to take care, the roadmap may lose control a little bit, the end goal and the way you are working toward that end goal, right? Products become more complex. So there's a high variability in terms of how are the squads or product teams performing in terms of operational metrics, quality, velocity, productivity, in terms of business KPIs. Are they producing the outcome that they are supposed to be producing for that particular value stream, right? Or not? So we see from an engineering, from a process, from a roadmap, backlog, readiness perspective, sometimes it changes a lot. Some value streams, they are better in terms of making sure that the backlog is ready to be developed, right? Are they mature in the same level in terms of DevOps KPIs or not? That's a big problem, right? The agile performance in general. So the lack of a big picture represents an opportunity here to fix the problem, right? So we do believe that you have to have this type of a holistic view of a very large digital operation, right? And then you can make action, take actions on top of it. We do believe that when you have this holistic view leveraged by those frameworks, you have more confidence to scale. And if you have more confidence to scale, right, that it's going to be much easier for you to become a digital leader, for example, with very, very complex digital operations. Okay, third one. I think actually that's, to be honest, maybe the most important of all, right? Tech work, digital initiatives in the end, it's a people business, right? It's all about people, it's all about talent. We know that. So we know that that's the biggest challenge, how to keep your teams engaged, right? How to make sure that you have them connected to the challenges. How can you provide a continuous learning environment for those people? And very important, how to make sure that they are free to choose. I know that may sound weird sometimes, right? But if you don't give our current tech talent generation the ability for them to choose what they want to do, what their goals, right? They will simply quit or look for something else, right? So you have to give them ability to choose, and of course, engage it to your needs, engage to the business needs, engage to our clients. But it's extremely important that some of the ideas, right? Talent and people accelerators like talent assessment, right? How to really provide a very structured framework for people to evolve their careers, right? Skills development, keep training, keep finding learning opportunities, right? Diversity, we all know that, right? It's extremely important to have diversity in our teams. It represents, different ideas, different perspectives that enables better problem solving, better innovation. We all know that, right? Elevate the game of the range of challenges. I think that's a tremendous opportunity to actually engage with clients nowadays, right? Because I don't think from a provider perspective, that's only our problem. I think we have to engage with our clients and they have to be part of the same type of problem resolution. Hey, everybody needs to find a better challenge to our teams to be happy, Look for global opportunities.